The Sixth Amendment.
The Sixth Amendment.
The Sixth Amendment.
The Sixth Amendment.
What is it really?
The Sixth Amendment.
Do you know what the general analysis is of the Sixth Amendment?
Right to a fair trial, speedy trial, jury of your peers.
I know the basic premise that it's somewhat of the right to a speedy and fair trial.
The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right of criminal defendants, including the right to a public trial without unnecessary delay, the right to a lawyer, and the right to impartial jury, and the right to know who your accusers are and the nature of the charges and evidence against you.
Protesters, including that mother you heard just there, were gathered outside the building over the weekend. Things got really heated when the protests actually moved inside. Before power was restored, New York officials said the situation was inhumane and possibly illegal.
There's a lack of urgency, which is a major issue since individuals are in the
These
dark.
prisoners had been kept inside of their jail cells, some even missing their trials that were not yet rescheduled, which is a violation of the Sixth Amendment of a right to a speedy and fair trial.
Do you feel like the Sixth Amendment is important, and should you have a right to a fair trial?
I would say that the Sixth Amendment is rather important because it's kind of one of the founding principles of our country. A lot of the revolution was founded on this idea that the British government was unfairly trying American colonists, and that was enraging the colonists because they felt like they were being tried and punished without any form of representation or any way to protect them. And so I think having that amendment specifically relies on the ideals which our nation was founded, and so I do think it's really important just because it's what America was founded on and it helps citizens.
Yeah, I do think it's important. I think all people, no matter what they're accused of, should have that opportunity. It's part of the foundation of our nation, and based on historical practices before that, it makes a lot of sense to be able to provide that for every person.
In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed.
Interestingly enough, half of the amendments in the Bill of Rights are designed to protect people accused of crimes. But even though those rights are enshrined in the Constitution itself, they're not guaranteed until we fight for them and win them in the courts. A case in point, the Sixth Amendment, which ensures you the right to have a lawyer in a criminal case. Until quite recently, many defendants, even those facing long prison terms, didn't have a lawyer if they couldn't afford to hire one.
Do you know of any famous court cases involving the Sixth Amendment?
No.
Yeah, there have been a few Supreme Court cases regarding that, Gideon versus Wainwright, and Baker versus, I can't remember the other part of that. But a lot of times they've applied that Sixth Amendment in conjunction with the 14th Amendment too. I believe that was with Gideon versus Wainwright. And so it is something that comes up occasionally, for sure.
The case centered on Clarence Earl Gideon, who had been charged for felony for an alleged robbing of a pool hall in Panama City, Florida, in June 1961. At his first trial, he requested a court-appointed attorney, but he was denied. The individual at the center of this case, Clarence Gideon, sent a handwritten petition to the Supreme Court challenging his conviction for breaking into a Florida pool hall. He argued that he did not have a fair trial because he had not been given a lawyer to help him with his defense. The court held that the Sixth Amendment's protection of the right to counsel meant that the government must provide an attorney for accused persons who cannot afford one at a public expense.
Do you think there are times that Amendment 6 should not be used in a court case?
I don't think so. I think it should probably be applied all the time. That would make sense to me.
I would say that if a court is going to be discussing the use of an amendment, then the amendment should be included within the case.
Should certain U.S. citizens be limited to this amendment?
No. Every citizen, regardless of what crime they're accused of committing, should have the right to a fair and speedy trial. However, we've seen historically that some crimes become national news, and so it's difficult to find a jury, or some crimes are incredibly heinous, so you need to make sure that those people are in a secure place where they can't endanger the population.
No, I think in all situations, the justice system should try to fulfill the Sixth Amendment as much as possible. I think sometimes it is difficult based on who the person is that's accused of a crime. But I think in general, yeah, it should be practiced.
In the Sixth Amendment, you have a right to a jury of your peers, which means you can have a jury of people that you know are like your own age.
The Sixth Amendment is one of the amendments that's not easily overstood. It's often glossed over in a classroom setting, and people don't often know what the right to a fair trial is.
We hope we've informed you about the Sixth Amendment and that you know more about it.